Hey, what's going on? It's the Deja Vu Show on WBLS. Always bringing in the great music, but also your favorite celebs and stopping by the show. Today we have Miss Jasmine Guy. How are you?
I'm great.
You are great. Looking
I'm having
fabulous.
an allergy attack, but I'm feeling fine.
Listen, I understand the pollen is crazy. I don't know. To me, it seems like since the pandemic, my allergies have gotten worse. Since 2020, maybe I'm just putting everything on 2020.
Yeah.
But do you
we
feel
blame
like...
everything on 2020.
Right.
I lost 3 years. I keep saying 5 years when it's 8. 2 years ago when it's 5.
Right.
I lost like Rip Van Winkle.
Okay,
What happened to this
paused.
world?
We went to sleep for like a hot second.
Yes.
And now here we are. But you know one thing we did not lose was our love and affinity for you, Miss Jasmine.
Thank you,
and of
Miss
course for everything that
Deja.
you are doing, including, I know you're like on an HBCU tour now with the cast of A Different World.
Yes. The 7 of us, so it's Daryl Bell, Kadeem Hardison, Cree Summers, Charnel Brown, Don Lewis, and Glenn Turman.
Uh-huh.
And we did a panel discussion at Clark, Spelman, and Morehouse. 3 separate ones. Because for some reason we could not do it at Martin Luther King Chapel.
And y'all are all right in Atlanta. I mean...
Around the corner.
It's crazy.
Walking through the campus to do it again on the other side. But
did it work?
they loved it.
Yes.
And the kids I call them kids now because I'm 62 and they look like babies to me. But such wonderful, articulate questions.
Yeah.
About what they cared about.
What were some of the things they were talking about? Fill us in.
Self-identity, what were we dealing with when we were their age, low self-esteem.
Did you find some unity in some of the things that you guys were dealing with when you were portraying these characters at that age?
Well, I talked to them as me at that age because I was acting. So they wanted real information.
Gotcha.
Now, the moderator was asking us acting question. What's your favorite episode? Which is always, they want us to say the wedding show.
Of course.
But it is not my favorite episode.
Talk about it. Well, give us the favorite episode. Then,
But they want to hear their story, especially the adults.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the kids that watched it before they weren't even born yet.
Yes.
And
their parents watched it.
Yeah, their parents watched it,
Yeah.
and they have a different appreciation for the tone because they're now on an HBCU campus.
Right.
What's the difference in going to a big white university and going to a smaller black school? And then a lot of us in the cast did not go to college.
Right. This was your college, being on the set.
Well, I graduated from Mission and Hillman, but we're actors. So it wasn't... It was, I guess, the closest I got to going to a college, but we're still acting. You know what I mean? So when we say we didn't go, we don't want to say, but you stay in here.
Right.
Because we're not promoting not going to college.
Absolutely. You're telling your story,
we're promoting go to college.
Right.
And make this experience what was created on our show because it took a lot of people to create that. It was Debbie Allen. It was Susan Fales. It was wardrobe. It was, as a show was constructed, the actors get credit for a lot of things that we didn't do.
So it was
the way
behind
we
the
look,
scenes.
the what we wear.
Yeah. But you guys had a shakeup after the first season, though. Tell me about, for people who don't know the story, tell us some of the stuff that went down behind the scenes after that first season.
Well, the first season was a spinoff of The Cosby Show with Lisa Bonet.
Right.
And the producer or showrunner was Ann Beats.
Yes.
And we did that season. And even as Kadeem and I were hired after they had already started.
Right.
And
which is still unbelievable to think about because the role that you all played in carrying the show later on, to think that y'all weren't there at the helm at the beginning.
No, in fact, they had done like 4 or 5 episodes, and then they bring and Dwayne Wayne was very specific, and so was Whitley. Like as actors, we knew, oh, I'm her nemesis, and you chase her around the campus, and we have to make this humorous because I think they were missing conflict.
Gotcha.
I don't know. They inserted us in the episodes that we weren't in, and then they gave us 7-episode contracts. So by episode 6, Kadeem and I were like, are we going back to New York or?
So y'all didn't even really know if you were going to be back for that next episode?
Oh, no.
Had they not tested the audiences, or how did it work? I mean, because we know the ratings and all, but
We did 6 episodes,
Right.
and people were getting fired. If you remember who our first dorm mother was, it was Loretta Devine. She had a
Yes.
little boy. Where did she go? Before that, I mean, it wasn't just us that
Right.
everybody was walking on eggshells.
Well, they were still trying to
Phyllis
find their
Stickney was
identity
on
as
there.
a show. Then, as you were saying, like the identity on campus and everything, they were still trying to find their identity. So they were
Thank you.
working it
and
out.
Debbie Allen came in
The visionary.
and found our identity.
Yes.
And she went to Howard.
Yes.
And she sent we had about, I would say, 10 writers. 2 of them were black. 1 black female, 1 black male. She sent all those writers to schools. She was like, you haven't done your research.
Come on.
It doesn't ring true because it's not true.
Exactly.
And I was saying, all my black side of my family went to Spelman and Morehouse. My father taught there for 35 years. My uncle was the director of music for 40. And I could not imagine students calling them by their first name.
right.
So I'm reading.
You just don't even do that.
I'm reading. I haven't done a series before, so, I'm not like I could just talk out. But I said, I'm sorry. I know I'm not in this scene. But there's no way the students call their professors by their first name.
Right.
Not at a black school, not at a southern school.
It's just not happening.
That was some California stuff. Because they thought if they just write it, and black people say it, it makes it a black school. It's a little bit more than that.
Absolutely.
Texture, traditions.
So what did they think though when you brought that to their attention?
They
About-
changed it.
They did.
Because I didn't really speak up. I didn't even know we could, but it was like, oh, and now I'm on a show that
That
is
everybody's
not
watching.
true. And
it's-
that I knew, having lived in, Atlanta, New York, and LA, I knew the different ways that people do. Like also in LA, they told my kid not to call them ma'am or sir. And I said, no, she needs to. You are not her peer. See, in LA, everybody wants to stay 22,
Talk about it.
but she's 5. And this is how she's told to do. She's
And when
not
she was
walking
when she was
around
little,
just
they
going-
were trying to make her say that
She was
call them
in
by their names?
preschool.
What? Wow.
Because they saw it as making them old. Oh, ma'am. Oh, no, you don't have to call me ma'am, because they saw it as an age thing.
Yeah.
I said, no, she does. That's how she says yes, please, no, sir, those things.
That's still a thing with me now. I feel like I have to say ma'am. I mean, I don't know. It's just ingrained
It's
in me.
ingrained in us.
Yes.
I would never just meet somebody, even my peers, I give them that respect until I get to know you,
Yes.
Miss Deja or whatever. I'm not just walking in here like,
Yeah.
I don't know. But especially with little kids.
Of course.
But you have them, little kids calling their parents by their first name, all kinds of stuff.
That's a whole
I'm
other
just
situation.
saying, if you don't know that, your dialogue is not going to be honest. And I think after Debbie came on, the issues became more honest. Like, really, what do college people deal with? They don't carry eggs around the campus in college.
Yeah.
Why are we doing that? They having real babies in college and figuring out how I'm going to have this baby, still go to school and pay my tuition and get childcare.
Talk about it.
Not eggs. There was an episode on the first season about the egg thing.
I remember.
So I really thought that it wasn't going to get picked up for another season.
Really?
It was over the summer that Debbie called me and said she was going to be on the show and that Lisa Bonet was going back to the Cosby Show.
And so when she called you, what was that conversation like? I mean, she's telling you, hey, these are the changes. Did she automatically say, hey, we want you to, expand your role, or did it come over time?
Well, she didn't say it like that. She said, okay, Miss Thing, we're going to put you, Whitley and Dwayne together. I said, what?
And what did you think?
The characters had nothing in common the first season. Mm-hmm. I'm an upperclassman to him. I saw her going out with maybe a professor, but not, So we really worked on making that believable.
Yeah.
Because he was also friends, because we had done school days together. Mm-hmm. And I kind of had a little brother relationship with him. And I was like, Kadeem, I need to believe that I'm attracted to you in this way. And I said, so, come in and be, a little more aggressive. He said, okay, because I wasn't trying to disrespect you. I said, no, let's just talk about Whitley and Dwayne. How are we going to make this? And it took time. It took seasons.
Yeah, but that was the thing that kept us tuned in, because we're like, okay, so what's going to happen? Is it going to happen now? Oh, is she going to give him a little flirt? Is it going to be something? We were anticipating that, you know what I mean? So that's, I think, as you all were working it out, we were still working it out too, with that romanticized view as we checked it out every week. So, yeah. And so you got the thing, it got picked up. Talk to us about, I don't know, the things that changed in your life personally after you got this and the role expanded and people started seeing more of you. What kind of things did you notice as far as fame? What did it bring you?
I look at the work. The fame is a byproduct. I appreciate it, but I'm not going for fame. I'm an artist, and I want to be good.
Right.
I don't want to just be famous.
Right.
So I went back to the stage. I did Chicago, on Broadway, and in Vegas, and all over the country. And I did another show called Dead Like Me on Showtime. And more recently, I'm on a show called Harlem.
It is so good to see you on there. I love it.
That show is so much fun.
That show is fun. It really is.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's beautifully shot. The girls, the scenes, the situations, we love it.
And
even your relationship with it's amazing. It is amazing.
The Harlem in the show is celebratory.
Yeah.
Of all kinds of Black people.
Yes.
From the Caribbean, from, all the parts of the state, but the Harlem Home is what they celebrate. And the place of being able to be free. Political, but funny. 4 girlfriends that want everybody to succeed. And it's like a counter, to me, it counters the reality housewives hip-hop shows.
Yes, it does.
Where everybody's tearing each other down.
And throwing drinks 24/7 and everything.
And they're educated, they have careers, they have dreams. It talks about relationships and the kind of issues they bring up in their relationships on that show, I guess, are what's happening now.
Yes.
Because I'm like, what? I mean, this season they deal with a man that wants to be with a woman, but he wants multiple lovers.
Okay, I can't wait.
I wanted to know, is that a thing?
Girl, listen, I'm married, but the stories that I read on these blogs, sis.
It's really happening like that?
It's hectic out there from what I understand. My question, well, since we're talking, are you dating at all? Do you get out there? Are you on a Hinge? Are you on any of the apps? Has your daughter forced you to get on?
But I did have a talking to last night. Bevy Smith talked to me.
What did Bevy say?
On the set together. And she was like, oh, no, you have to keep going out and dating and seeing men. You know what I mean? That's a part of who we are. And I was like, she said, because if you wait too long, you'll stay like this. And then it'll be that little window will be gone,
So did it sink in?
Yeah, I went home. I processed it. Because I was getting very comfortable.
Just being like this?
I blamed it on menopause. I just thought the feeling had gone. But then I met somebody and the feeling came back. And
Come
I was
on
like,
now.
hello, welcome back. Nice to feel you again. I was excited because I really thought maybe this is hormonal because I never really wanted to not be with somebody.
Yeah.
Didn't have to be marriage, but, I do love my men.
Of course.
And I love that energy they bring into my life. So I thought I just thought hormonally maybe something has changed.
No, it could be that right person, like you said, just to work some things out. Now, what does a nice date night look like for you, or date day? What does that look like for you?
Oh, well, I love a nice restaurant and good food.
Come
it
on
doesn't have
now.
to be fancy, but the food has to be good. And talking.
Yeah.
I like to talk. So the texting thing back and forth without having at least a conversation on the phone is a
Yes,
little
because so
disruptive
many things
for
can
me.
get misconstrued on
Yes.
text. I didn't mean it that way, but I felt it this way when I read.
And it's truncated.
Yes.
Where you would tell me a story about your day. You're like, had a good one, got that bump and pay. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still not getting the flavor of how we communicate.
Right.
What else are you interested in? That's also important to me. Some people aren't curious. They're not intellectually curious or politically curious. And I'm like, well, I like to talk about movies after I see them.
Yes.
I like to talk about books after I read them. Who am I going to talk to?
So he has to bring all of that.
Yes, participate.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm kind of looking for.
All right,
and
y'all.
that you can take care of yourself.
Jasmine's letting it be known. Okay, we right out here, tri-state area and beyond.
So if you weren't married, would you do apps?
I would probably test it out, but I hear that it's just because there's so much, there's so many people on them. People feel that they don't have to be monogamous. They don't have to choose with just one person. They may vibe with you,
the
there's
field
another
is
one.
so big.
The field is so big. And a guy told me, he says, you're only as faithful as your options. And I was like, oh my gosh. So if you have unlimited, but I think that was just his thinking. But he did kind of have a point to if you have these options here,
But he
I
does
like you,
think
but
that way.
it is interesting.
Yeah, the best thing is that you can hear men's point of views better now
Absolutely.
because they are texting and they are on. I don't know if their bios are true on those things.
They probably are not. They're probably inflated, just like we do with the resumes. I was this, this, and this. But I do like now, guys like you said, they're texting, they're open more. I hear more conversation about feelings from men. You know what I mean? They're a little more open. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm a fan of Queer Eye on Netflix. And the season that I think they're in New Orleans in the 7th or 8th season. And they're working to renovate and regroup this frat house. And it was so moving because they circled. And those boys had never cried. The boys didn't know that somebody in this one's they're not talking on an intimate level.
Right.
And they felt bad that they couldn't be there for their friends because they didn't know. And so that was really moving and very telling to me about how we shut our boys down. We don't encourage them to talk on that level about that. It's suck it up, don't cry, be a man. But another part of being a man is to understand who you are, understand when you need to talk to just one person.
Right.
Everybody don't need to know. But that's what I see the most, that they're still growing and developing, and sometimes it has to come from other men than the mother or the sister or the people that already love them. But another man can tell a man how to digest it, how to say it, how to not feel ashamed.
Right.
Because you couldn't do that by yourself.
Right.
We shouldn't ask that of them. So I love the new age young men now because I see that they're far more communicative about their feelings.
Absolutely. Uncensored, that's going to be coming out, correct? That's going to be on TV One. And then also just life. I mean, like, just to have a whole conversation.
Yes, Uncensored is this Sunday at 10.
Okay.
I have not seen it.
Wait, you haven't seen it?
No.
Why?
Because it hasn't aired yet.
But they have sneak screenings.
Well, I don't know that I'm going to watch all of it because it was a long time. You know, those bio shows, you're talking about alone by yourself for like 4 or 5 hours.
Is it that long just to compile all that? Really?
And then they edit it.
Yes.
So, you know, at some point during those, because I also did Unsung and Intimate Portrait, and, you know, at some point, I'm like, is this really interesting? It's much more, I was going to say more better.
It can be more better
It's
blues,
more
but here we go.
better to talk to somebody and go back and forth.
Right. But you're talking to the producer and they just,
No, they're just asking me questions. That's not talking. I mean, here's your question, you answer it, and there's not a response and a return. That's a
Gotcha.
discussion.
Yeah.
And if you edited that, I would feel like I was more believable as opposed to me sitting there like, try and make this interesting or just tell the truth.
Is there anything that you shared this time that we will be surprised about or a fascinating fact about you?
Was a different time in my life.
Yeah.
So those things, those other shows were 5, 10, 20 years ago, you know? So I am at a different point in my life. And I'm more celebratory. I'm more, I want to have fun and work. Before I was really about the next.
Yeah.
Nail this, be here. Now I want to do an album. Now I want to go on Broadway. Now I'm going to write a book. And it fulfills me. It makes me very happy. But I'm focusing more on my other life, my inner life, my personal life. Like I'm going to go see my friends more.
Yes.
Because I moved to Atlanta, so I'm not seeing my sister and my friends in LA. I'm not coming to New York. I'm not doing the trips that I would do had I not worked for 8 months. No, just kidding. You know, I came out of the pandemic, and then we had a strike.
Right.
So the only work I was legally able to do was appearances. So I wasn't acting. I wasn't around on the set or in a play or directing and around my tribe.
Right.
The whole group, you know. So
But you said now, though, you feel like even though that happened, you feel like you still want to, explore other things outside of that.
yeah, I have to remember to give as much love and energy to that part of my life.
That's good. Those are some words of encouragement. We do a feature called Words of Encouragement. I like that. And you use the word celebratory. I like that. What are you celebrating right now for you?
I am really happy. And like I told you, I had a great time on the set of Harlem. And the enjoyment of it is as great as the angst used to be. Because I would be in the corner, going over my line, pacing, thinking, focused. But I'm finding that I can have both.
That balance.
A good time on the set and do my job. And the cast is wonderful because they're fierce. So it's not like I have anything to worry about. Like, how am I going to make this funny? How am I going to make this realistic?
Right.
I just go in there and do it. And Tracy Oliver is our showrunner. So to have a female, a black female, write and produce this wonderful piece, as we've seen with Lena Waithe and Issa.
But you also wrote and produced as well. Are you
Yeah, but
exercising that muscle anymore?
I did. I've written 2 pilots. I haven't pitched them yet.
What are we waiting on, ma'am?
I'm a Pisces. Sometimes I lurk. I postpone.
Come on now.
No, you're
listen.
right. You're right.
Listen.
It's time.
Yeah. When is your birthday?
I'm too old to even do them now because I wrote them so long
Their
ago.
age ain't nothing but a number. I see all these other shows of seasoned vets getting out there. I mean, you look at the Diane Keatons of the world, the Jane Fondas, they are still out here making movies, money, music. They're doing it all. I think with
And
technology,
you know what
we
I
can
love
do it.
too? Is seeing Regina King directing.
Yes!
Seeing that credit of Sally Richardson. Because these are my peers.
Yes.
And they are killing it. And Tasha Smith directed our show this week.
She
at
did.
Harlem.
I love her.
Fierce director.
Yeah.
I loved her as an actress, but to see that she is equally energetic and proficient as a director. I was just sitting there looking at her, like, yes, go sister, go sister.
Yes.
It was a great experience, and
Okay.
I love to see that because I grew up with Debbie. She directed me
And she's still out here
very
doing
early.
things.
Yeah, she's the showrunner for Grey's Anatomy.
For Grey's Anatomy. Isn't that crazy? And
She don't ever stop.
And still doing her dance. Do you still dance?
I could probably do that. I could do it for 8 counts.
Uh-huh.
I could look good for 8 counts. I couldn't do I couldn't do all of Revelations. I could probably just do the yellow
part.
section. Or wade in the water, But I do dance. It's in me. Mm-hmm. And I dance in my living room. I have a YouTube. I'm the YouTube DJ. I play all my favorites.
Yeah.
I choreographed the theme song of Game of Thrones as a ballet. And I was telling people, and then they come in and here, stage right. So it's always in me. It's my first language.
First language, first love.
Yeah.
Does your daughter dance as well?
No, she's actor, writer, and artist, a painter artist.
And have you guys done any projects together?
Not really. I mean, we confer with each other. And but not like on camera have we been on camera together. In fact, my daughters, I've played a mother many times. So Grace Byers is my daughter on this show. So my daughter went on the set with me yesterday, and when Grace met her, she said, "Oh, your mother talks so much about you." And she looked at Grace and said, "Likewise." Because I do have maternal feelings for my daughters now that
You're a part
I'm
of
of
that.
the age to play mothers. And one time I asked Grace, I said, I know this is funny because I'm mean and funny, but is it too far? Is it believable? Because I could not talk to my real daughter like that. She said, "No, it's a Caribbean mother. That's who you're acting like. They're different."
And so you're right on the head.
Yeah.
Hit the nail right on the head. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. All right, so what's next for you, Miss Jasmine Guy? What's next?
Well, I'm doing a Christmas movie. This is the third one that we've done. And when Octet, the production company, pitched the first one, they said, if you want this one, you have to buy 3. So every year I've been with my Wesley family for Christmas. And this year,
yes, that's right. I forgot
Dorian
about
Wilson,
that.
T.C.
Yes.
Carson. So this year we're going to South Africa. It's a destination Christmas
Oh my
trip.
gosh.
I'm so excited.
When do you start filming?
End of March.
That's gonna be good. That's
And
gonna
I've
be good.
never been.
Wow.
I've never
so
been
you should
to
document
Africa.
that too. Get your
Yeah.
come on.
Well, I'm gonna have my phone.
Phone, get a little camera, a little something. I mean, people film on iPhones now anyway. But I mean,
Well, I might ask somebody to do it. I can't do
Yes.
that and be in it.
a little romance.
I can't
A little romance,
concentrate.
something over there. Come on.
Oh, maybe I'm gonna get me a South African? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Mandingo brother.
Yes.
You are funny.
I love that idea.
Funny. Well, we can't wait to see that. We are so excited about you going out. And will y'all, as the cast of A Different World, will you be doing other things outside of the HBCUs? Because those who are not on the campus still would like to interact and see. Would y'all do anything?
Well, when we're at these schools, the community is invited.
Oh, they are?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, then. Gotcha.
Yeah, and the faculty, and so they're different generations, but also the community.
Okay.
Because all these schools are in the heart of a Black community,
Absolutely.
you know. And then, you know, the selfies and
Will we ever
the
get a reunion
interaction.
show? An episode?
Do you think it should be another series or a movie? Like a reunion, a 2-hour.
I don't want 2 hours. I want some episodes. Can we get a short, what is it, limited series is what they call it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not opposed to it. I'm just not in charge of it.
Are
But
other
that's
people
what Carsey-
interested? Are the other, your
Yes.
former castmates interested?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
On our side, but it's the production side, Carsey Warner.
Oh, so you can't use that because that's their property, their
It's
intellectual
their
property.
show.
I know, but I'm
Hello.
just saying. But if you do a spin, she's like, it's their show. Okay.
We were pretending, and we were actors. We didn't
know.
own. Okay. But I've seen other shows do it, and I don't
Yes.
understand why Tom Warner and Carsey Warner are not interested in our fan base.
We're going to leave that right there.
Just saying.
Just saying.
We know who loves us, and we know that that would be viable, but we're also much older, so it would be, to me, us having kids that are going to school now.
Right. If
And
they
the
can do a Will and
decisions-
Grace thing, you can do this too and make it, and you can talk about the kids going to school, but we still, have affection for those original characters. But we
And
still
did you like the reboot? I did see it.
I
Okay.
did. I watched a couple of episodes. I didn't watch as many as I did when I first saw, the original series. But yeah, I watched it.
Because that's the other thing. Would it suffer at this point? And should we just let it be?
Well,
Because
that's
right
true
now,
too.
you
but
can
if
mess
it's
it
limited,
Right.
If you give me a
okay.
couple, it doesn't have to be seasons going on and on. A limited series, just as a reflection / catch up. I don't know.
up. Okay, I'll talk to Debbie.
Come on, put that.
Because if anybody
Miss
could get
Debbie.
it done, it's Debbie.
Yes.
To get to them.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have that direct line of communication.
And that's going to be on the next episode. Jasmine Guy. She's going to spill all the tea. No, but thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate it.
Thank you,
And we'll be
Deja.
watching your Uncensored and watching for more.
See, now I
from
can
you.
call you Deja. I can call you Miss Deja because I know you now.
You know me now.
It's
I love
common
it.
courtesy. Love you. You look fabulous.
Likewise.